Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly energies. This is going to be your reading for the week of the 18th through the 24th of August. I can't even believe I'm saying those dates, but if you're new here, go ahead and click that like button. Make sure that you follow and comment where you are watching this video from. I would love to hear from you. Would love to get in touch and get to know. And this week, we feel the shift. This week, we're going from the energy of Leo season towards Virgo, which everybody seems to think that it's time to break out the vacuum cleaner and start, organizing your home and being in this perfectionism mode. But as soon as this week starts, we have a great aspect with the Sun in Leo, Mars in Libra. They're creating a sextile, and when there's a sextile, there is good collaboration between planets, and same here, good collaboration between people. Mars wants you to take action, and the Sun in Leo wants you to shine and to express yourself in a very courageous way. So good time to have meetings, to formalize things, to bring those points to the table that you want to express that it is that you would like, and put it out there and come to some agreements this week. Now, we also, as the Sun moves into Virgo on the 22nd, we are going to have a new moon in Virgo, and it's gonna be an amazing time, very, very intense time too, because we are welcoming the eclipses. As you know, the North Node and South Node are Virgo Pisces, and everything in the South Node with Virgo is where the karma is being filtered. Okay, so think about it. Pisces is North Node. That's what we are headed towards. And it's more of like a purpose. And then Virgo is what we are letting go of. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of karmic release in this time and in this season with the eclipses. We're gonna have 2 new moons in Virgo. One right as we start on the 22nd, the Sun goes into Virgo, and then immediately we have a new moon in 0 degrees of Virgo. So something is starting in the Virgo area of our chart. It would be good if you have your chart already done, and if not, just get in touch with me and we can get that and see where we have these new beginnings and these new starts. Okay, now as far as this moon is, it's a really good one to just get out there, write your intentions, visualize that which you want to create for the next 6 months. What is it that you want to bring to your reality? Okay, we are creating as we go, as we think, as we feel, as we speak. Okay, so say those things out loud. Feel how you want to feel, and just get out there and plant some new seeds. Okay, now there's going to be an opposition with this moon with Uranus and Gemini. And this is going to bring a little bit of surprises, maybe some changes that needed to be made. And maybe we wouldn't necessarily choose them for ourselves, but it's there. It's an aspect that helps us to get out of the way and let the universe kind of like work it out, So this time when there are eclipses is a very destined time. And I want you to think about anything that takes place now. There's going to be people that come into your life. There's going to be people that leave. Situations that end. Situations that begin. That is That is the eclipses. The eclipses are like a revolving door, okay? And I want you to think about everything that happens now as something that is happening for your favor, good and bad. I know that it's not easy to see something uncomfortable as something good, but if we can just reframe it and put it in a place where we could see that this is happening for us and there's a reason for this, it's our way of accepting and not being so resistant to changes, okay? So let's go with the themes. I know that I haven't been on for 3 or 4 weeks, almost like I took like a month off of doing these videos. I've been putting the cosmic energy out there, energía cósmica, los horóscopos, your horoscopes every week. So go check them out. Share them in your stories and tag me. I love to share, I love to share your comments and all of that. It's a really good way of interacting with you guys and getting personal. All right, so let's see the themes. What comes up for this week, and just know that this is not sign specific. This is something that I do for the collective energy, just letting you know what's available, what spirit wants us to know. Okay, let's pick some cards and see what comes up. So first card that we have are the angels. So definitely the presence of your angels in your life coming through in this reading, letting you know that you're not in this alone. Okay, they're watching over you, they're guiding you, and they're sending you constant signs. So make sure that you consciously observe, something that kind of like catches your attention. Maybe you found a coin and it has a particular year on it, and there's something to do with somebody special up in heaven. Some repetitive numbers, that happens a lot. Angels speak through signs and synchronicities, and numbers are a particular way of them, communicating and using their language in that way. And also feathers. Just there's something here that is wanting you to know that you're protected. Okay, so I feel like that's the biggest message with that card. Let's see what other things we get for the week. So I love it. Our angels are there with us. I am not shocked at all that this card came through. It's the Earthly Shifts card. And as I was saying, I haven't been on for a month, but if you've seen any of my latest posts, they've had to do a lot with my youngest son. I just dropped him off at college, and I'm going through this earthly shift. So just know that we are all in this together. There are changes happening in our lives, lots of rite of passage moments, anniversaries, birthdays, children passing to a next grade, to a next level, and this is all very positive. It brings a sense of rejuvenation, okay? And of starting over and of fresh starts, okay? Let's see what else. Okay, hang on. I have a few cards right here. Oh my God. Okay, there's one that fell. There's two that fell. Okay, so we have the Sun, most positive card, I think, in any deck. It's the sign of illumination, the sign of something coming to light, the sign of great ideas, a sudden stroke of genius, okay? But also it represents joy and euphoria and laughter and just happy moments as well. And also I feel like expansion in the sense that there could be something that is growing. Anything that the sun touches grows. Okay, so if we're thinking about things like in terms of a plant, something is definitely here growing, but in your life, in a metaphorical way. And then we have the card of patterns, and this, we just had the full moon in Aquarius. And I don't know if you watched the video that I made for this full moon, but Aquarius is a sign that rules the collective consciousness. So all of us as a one, groups, all of that. And I feel like it's the sign that brings the best moment to break a cycle or a pattern. Okay, so whenever we have a full moon in Aquarius, which is usually it's always when the sun is in Leo, it's a great time to recognize these patterns and to have that break and that release and the letting go of that, recognizing it so that we know how to move forward and put it into perspective in our lives so that we don't continue perpetuating a cycle. Okay? So there's something that could be here, maybe repeating for you. You're seeing it. Why is this coming up again? Why is this happening? Why am I feeling a certain way again? And this is for that. It's showing you there's something that needs change something needs to be done differently in order for this to not continue. Okay? Let me get one last one. Get a bonus one today. All right. And we get Archangel Raphael. And this is heart healing. Look at how there is this plant growing. And I was talking about this growth happening with the sun card showing up. Whenever Archangel Raphael shows up, there is a sense of healing. There is a sense of, I've already done the work. I've connected with my heart, and I am just opening up to this new phase in my life where I've had to go through hurdles, obstacles, doubt, and fear, and I've come out stronger for it. Okay, so definitely it's key because this week we have an aspect with Chiron, which is the wounded healer, and the sun in Virgo. They're going to be creating a trine. And what this means is that they're going to be working together to create some sort of flexibility. Because, Virgo can be sometimes kind of like, I don't want to say rigid, but sort of like have like this standard. And Chiron is coming in to show us the wound. But what happens? Chiron is retrograde in Aries. So we've already done this work. Whatever we needed to heal in that area, it's almost about to step out of Aries. Okay, it's in the last degrees. So when that happens, when there's a planet in the last degrees of a sign, it means that we're almost there to the end of that energy. Okay, so there's something definitely that we've learned, and now it's like, how are we going to implement that in our lives coming from that place of growth? Okay, now let's go with the tarot. Let's see what comes through in the tarot cards and see what shows up for everyone. Let me shuffle a little bit. Okay, let me shuffle a little bit for this week. Sorry if I'm shaking the phone right now. I'd love to see you all here. Welcome, welcome. All right. For this week of the 18th through the 24th. Okay. So we have the Page of Wands. Okay, so this is a new path. It's a new way of doing things. There's been an opportunity that's shown up. Something that begins with like a spark, an idea, something that we have deep inside that is saying, oh, I want to do that. I want to get back to that. There's a sense of motivation here. Okay, so starting with the Page of Wands, there's a new path. There's a new way of doing things. We are putting action steps towards this idea, this creation that we have, okay? And like I said, motivation, there's like an energetic moving forward, which, as we know, Mercury is already direct, and, you know, it ended its retrograde last week, so we are in this movement forward. So anything that was feeling like it was dragging, like it wasn't moving, like we were in this limbo, it's going to definitely start to gain momentum here. Now we have, oh, look at that, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Virgo, right here. Definitely signaling that the sun is coming into the sign of Virgo, but oh, it's not even the Queen of Pentacles, it's the Empress. Even better. So there is an aspect here that we are nurturing, and we could be welcoming or receiving news of new members of the family, because this is fertility. It's abundance. It represents mothers. It represents the divine feminine. So this is that energy that nurtures and gives way to new things. It births new things. So the Empress represents Venus. It represents the sign of Taurus and the sign of Libra. And there are these good aspects that I was speaking about with Mars in Leo and Mars in Libra and the Sun in Leo, that we're having this sextile. So these energies are working together to bring you closer to that energy of prosperity, the energy of abundance. Okay? There is this definite association, agreement that comes with that. Okay? Really, really lovely energy. I love the energy of the Empress. It's that energy that says you can do less and attract more. Okay? So we have the King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But as an energy, the King of Swords comes from a place of intellect. Great communicator. Could be a little cold at times, but straightforward nonetheless. Okay, so this is saying that we have influence in the way that we express ourselves. This is making decisions from a place where we are going in with logic, and definitely is giving me that energy that we have to communicate intelligently, eloquently, from a place of what we want, what we know, and what's our truth. Okay? Okay, and we have the Two of Pentacles. So this is that vibe of the patterns, okay? We see the infinity symbol. We might have to make a list here of pros and cons. Maybe we're weighing something out financially. This is advising that we make some good decisions when it comes to our finances. Maybe cut down a little bit on the expenses this week. I feel like you are juggling, maybe doing a lot of multitasking this week with this Two of Pentacles. But when it has to do with patterns, it could be talking about a pattern that we see around anything that is having to do with finance, career, and anything that's in the 3D physical world, anything that is practical. So I feel like this is telling us that we need to be practical and more precise in the way that we spend our energy and what we give attention to and what we're investing in, okay? Not everything is worth our time, our energy, okay? So, and there it is, the Hermit. This is the major arcana that represents the sign of Virgo. So definitely welcoming in Virgo season. And the Hermit talks about those lessons that we've already learned, that we've learned them through experiences, okay? We are wiser for them. And that experience lights the way now forward. Because I feel like one of the biggest lessons that the Hermit teaches us, and for this week, as we've been already discussing, is that those experiences and those lessons that help us grow can be a beacon, it can be a light for others as well. Okay? Now, at the bottom of the deck, and as the overall energy, we have the Six of Pentacles, and this is that karmic release I was speaking about earlier. This is signaling that, we are trying to bring this harmony to things, balance things out, give our attention to where it's a priority. And this is individual. This is what's a priority for me. It's not a priority for you. So this is very individual energy. But underneath that, we have the Fool card. And this is starting from zero. The new beginnings, the new phase of our lives with optimism, enthusiasm of the unknown. We're just being present. We're living in the moment and not worrying about where we're headed. And when we are present and live in the moment, you have that awareness. You won't be missing all those signs that are being put in front of you to help guide you and to help get you to that destined path. Okay, so I love you guys. I hope that this was helpful. It was a lot of information, so I'm going to save this and post it. If you want to go through it, if you want to skip some things, you can even make me speak like a little elf and fast forward me. It's okay, but there is a lot of information there about the energy for this week, planetary movements, and your cosmic energy and horoscopes are already up. If you want something more personal, you can always contact me and we'll schedule a personal session. And just know that I love you and I send you fearless light as always, and love, infinite love. Take care, you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.